Afternoon, fans, and welcome to Clothier Field Stadium on the campus of Swarthmore College for today's Centennial Conference men's lacrosse game between the Gettysburg College Bullets and your Swarthmore College Garnet. At this time, we will be presenting our national anthem.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clothier Field here in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, as the Swarthmore College men's lacrosse team looks to get back into the win column, and standing in their way this afternoon are the 11th ranked Bullets of Gettysburg College. Once again, welcome to Clothier Field on what's turned out to be a beautiful day down here at Swarthmore. It was cloudy, a little rainy, and yet it's all cleared up, and we're going to have a beautiful backdrop for this Centennial Conference matchup between the Garnet and the Bullets. Swarthmore comes into today's game with a record of 6-5, having dropped their first 3 Centennial Conference games of the 2022 season. Most recently, they took on Franklin and Marshall last Saturday out in Lancaster, and it was the 9th-ranked Diplomats that hung on to defeat the Garnet by the score of 8-7. It was a game that Swarthmore led at one point 3-1 late in the first quarter on a Ben Schaefer goal, but then the Diplomats, starting with a Kai Kelly goal, 2:04 left in the first, would rattle off 7 straight goals and lead 8-3 with just 14:39 left in the contest. Swarthmore, heck of an effort to get back into that contest. It was just 1 goal too few, as Liam Warner, Ben Schaefer, Von Mabs, and Quinn Sievold all scored in the final 10.5 minutes to cut the gap to 8-7, but time ran out before the Garnet could find the equalizer and force overtime. In that game, Schaefer, Mabs, and Sievold all had a pair of goals, and Warner's came in the 4th to begin that 4-goal run. Joe Paulson went 8 of 15 on faceoffs, and he'll have a key role in today's game, one of the better face-off men in the Centennial. Samuel Ginsberg had 4 ground balls. Will Drake, Luke Ingersoll, and Warner all had 3. And Shane Nashin led the team in caused turnovers with 2. He also had 11 saves in the loss. Meanwhile, for Gettysburg, they knocked off Washington College last week by the count of 11-4. Quentin Mather led the Bullets with 5 goals in the victory. George Raymond and Griffin Gallagher each had a pair of goals. Scott McMillan had 9 saves and 4 ground balls in the crease for Gettysburg. Gettysburg is in the away dark blue with the orange numbers. Swarthmore in the home white with garnet numbers. And on the opening faceoff, it'll be Joel Paulson for Swarthmore taking on Jonathan Moshe of the Bullets. And Swarthmore wins the opening faceoff, and we're underway from Clothier Field. And as I mentioned, Swarthmore should have a decided advantage at the faceoff X as Drake is dispossessed of the ball. Ball loose on the ground and picked up by the Garnet. Swarthmore comes into today's game ranked 4th in the Centennial Conference at face-off percentage at just under 51%. Meanwhile, the Bullets are dead last when it comes to winning face-offs at under 45%. And here's a shot here, saved by McMillan. Ground ball picked up by Zach Puckhaber, and Gettysburg will go on offense for the first time. So if there's a way that Swarthmore can pull off the upset in this game, it'll have to start with their senior face-off man, Paulson, and get him to try to win face-offs and get those possessions like Swarthmore had to begin this game this afternoon. Gettysburg comes in 4th in the conference in scoring with 12.7 goals a game, playing in just their second true road game of 2022. They've also played a pair of neutral site games, so they're 1-3 away from home. Great check by Liam Halstead to knock the stick out of the Gettysburg player's hands. Swarthmore comes up with the ground ball, and a great defensive stop for the Garnet on their first possession. And here's Luke Ingersoll working his way across midfield, dodging past 2 or 3 Bullet defenders. And you could hear the Swarthmore bench on that stick check by Halstead really get into it. They are up for this game. And a whistle and a turnover. Gettysburg will get the ball. And here's Gettysburg getting in the offensive set. Now ball lost in midfield and turned over. The ball crossed the midfield line. And flags on the restart. And judging by the Swarthmore bench, this is going to go on Gettysburg. And let's see if we can hear the call. The call goes on Zach Puckhaber. So Swarthmore will be a man up for the first time this afternoon, just 2 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. It's a 30-second penalty against Puckhaber, one of the better defenders on this Gettysburg team. So Swarthmore, who was the best man-up advantage in the league, will go to work, but we're going to get a whistle that interrupts play. And it looks like it might have been an issue with the shot clock. 6 seconds came off the game clock, but the shot clock didn't move from 80, so they'll probably reset that to around 74. And actually the official says clocks are fine. So we'll go at it once again, down to 15 on the man up. Swarthmore 21 of 42 this season in man up situations. They try to work the ball in the middle. Michael Hardiman can't control the pass. Now a long shot and they score. Cooper Buckland picking up the ground ball and firing a shot low past senior Scott McMillan. And the Garnet take the 1-0 advantage. 11:40 to go in the first quarter. It's an even strength goal as the penalty had just expired 2 seconds earlier. But for Buckland, it's his 5th goal of the season, his first since March 19th when he scored in the win over Roger Williams, and the Garnet have the 1-0 advantage. And now the Bullets will get the possession as Moshe able to win the faceoff for Gettysburg. So it's been a tough stretch of games in terms of opponents for Swarthmore in their last 3. They open Centennial Conference play here on the 26th against Dickinson, ranked 8th in the country. A very competitive contest. And that was George Raymond faking the shot and going behind the goal for Gettysburg. But the Red Devils were just too much late, and they took the 11-7 win. Then they went to Muhlenberg and took on the Mules, who were at the time receiving votes in the USILA poll. And the Mules pulled out the 11-8 win. Then took on the 9th-ranked Diplomats in Lancaster last Saturday. Pass to the left wing. Shot goes wide. That was out of the stick of Quentin Mather, who has 11 goals this season. Shot clock down to 16. And this tough opening stretch for Swarthmore in Centennial Conference play continues this afternoon against the 11th-ranked Bullets, who are 8-3. Left-hand shot, and they score. We are tied up at 1. So 1-1, 10:24 to go in the opening quarter. And it looks like it's not pulsing out there. That was Martinez taking the draw for Swarthmore. Won by the Bullets. And they'll go on offense after the ground ball pick up by Moshi. So he's 2 for 3 on faceoffs early in this contest. Here's Kyle Howard driving right against Liam Werner. Now tries to spin away, throws behind the goal. Pass in the middle. Now a shot goes wide. That was Michael Zima letting one go from distance. And pardon me, that was Brady McGovern. Missed everything, goes out of bounds. Gettysburg keeps the ball. Now here's a drive shot. Goes wide. Not sure if that hit Nashin. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Swarthmore. Nashin with the long outlet pass ahead for Seavold. And Swarthmore will go to work with Von Mabs. Mabs just content to hold as Swarthmore had to make a few more changes before playing offense. Here's Chambliss trying to drive around Zima. Good job keeping his feet. Runs to the middle. Now has to give up to the goal line left side. Here's Strouch. Carter Strouch held goals for the first time this season against F&M. Shot goes out of bounds. Stays with Swarthmore. 27 to shoot. Hardiman lets one go, and that goes high and wide. So Michael Hardiman back in the lineup for the first time since the Del Val game on March 16th. Getting into the early action. Mabs with the left hand bounces one wide. Swarthmore there to back up. It's Ben Schaefer. So 16 to shoot. Schaefer with the dodge, drives left, back to Mabs. Mabs trying to get the left hand free, has the ball checked out of his stick. Gettysburg picks up the ground ball, and they're running quickly in transition. But that pass too tall for Mather, rolls out of bounds, and it's a quick turnover for Gettysburg. They average about 15 a game. And that one quickly puts them back on defense. Swarthmore would work the clock down to inside 10. And I don't think Gettysburg had the ball for more than 10 seconds before turning it right back over to the Garnet. So here's Will Drake. Long stick midi for Swarthmore. Giving the ball up to to Michael Hardiman. Here's Jackson Brosgol with the ball in his stick for the first time. Now here's PJ Cass. Driving left, goes behind the goal. Work it back out in front. Shot off the leg of McMillan. Swarthmore picks up the ground ball. That was Cass. The initial shot taken by Brosgol. Now here's a long shot from distance. Hardiman let it go. wide of that right post. Swarthmore ball, 52 to shoot. And McMillan has been under fire in the past 2 minutes in that Gettysburg goal. Here's Brosgol trying to spin away from Frank Barbera. Now double teamed. Has to give it up to Cass. 30 still to shoot. Cass runs behind the goal. Gives it up to Carter Strouch. Works his way free. Shot off the post. They score on the rebound. PJ Cass, Johnny on the spot, gets the ground ball and the goal. And the Garnet go back up in front. 2-1 Swarthmore. 6:29 to go in the first quarter. For Cass, it's his second goal of the season. His first one coming on March 16th against Del Val. And the freshman from Cheshire, Connecticut, has the home Garnet back on top, 2-1, midway stages of the first quarter. And Swarthmore already up to 7 shots. Gettysburg just credited with 1 as we approach 6 minutes to go in the first. I talked about the face-off percentages at the top of the broadcast about how Swarthmore should have the advantage at the X, but so far it's been Gettysburg winning 3 of the first 4. And they're back on offense down by 1. Ball comes left side for Aiden Wyckoff. Now pass behind the goal for George Raymond. Good defense by Connor Toomey. Raymond has to retreat behind the goal. And now they'll back it out and set things up once again with 30 to shoot. Good stick check, I believe, by Toomey. Ground ball picked up by the Garnet. And now Ingersoll trying to get out of trouble. Runs behind his own goal. And good work by Swarthmore. Gettysburg had nothing to shoot at that entire offensive possession. And the Garnet get it back once again. And they've looked good on offense, but a turnover here gives the ball back to Gettysburg. And this large Gettysburg contingent of fans applaud the defensive effort, forcing the turnover. And that's the second turnover of the game on Swarthmore. Gettysburg has 3. As we're under 4.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Here from Clothier Field. Here's Raymond finding a pass in front, and they score. I believe that's Spencer Knife, who cut through the Swarthmore defense, got the pass from Raymond, and beat Nash into that near post. And we're tied up at 2. 4:26 left in the first. And that is Knife's goal, extending his point streak to 5. Entered this game with 11 points in the last 4 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. And his first of the afternoon levels the game up at 2, and a great face-off win by Polson. And he went right on the attack, passed it up to Carter Strach, and now Polson will hustle off the field. And now we'll see the Swarthmore offense, with all their offensive middies, retake the field once again. It'll be Ryan Chambliss to jumpstart this Swarthmore offense. Tough pass in the middle, ball knocked down, scooped up by Gettysburg, and they're moving quickly. Shot fired high from Mather. Gettysburg was able to back it up and keep the possession. And that was Mather getting the pass from Zach Kinsella after Kinsella picked up the ground ball and made a long run right down the center of the field. Just the third shot for Gettysburg in this opening quarter. Raymond took the pass but wasn't ready to shoot. Now has to run behind the goal. Comes back out near side, gets a shot off, and he scores. Raymond, while falling down, got the shot off low, beats Nashin, and Gettysburg goes in front for the first time this afternoon, 3-2. 3:13 to go in the first quarter. For Raymond, it's his 23rd goal of the season. Entered the contest 8th in the Centennial Conference in goals. And he now has a point in every game this season and has scored in 11 of the 12 Gettysburg games. The only game that Raymond did not score was on the 26th of March in the Bullets win over Haverford. So let's see how Swarthmore does playing from behind for the first time this afternoon. The 11th ranked Bullets in front 3-2. Now Cass, the most recent Swarthmore goal scorer, gives the ball up to Mabs. Mabs gets the left hand free, scores! Well, a quick response by the Garnet, and Von Mabs gets the bouncer to beat McMillan, and just like that, we're tied up at 3. 2:42 to go in the first quarter, thanks to Von Mabs' 26th goal of the year. Mabs, playing in his 10th game, has now scored in all 10. Martinez on the draw for Swarthmore was able to get his stick in there, pick the ball up, and win the faceoff for the Garnet. And now being harassed big time, has the ball fall out of his stick. And the ground ball picked up by Kinsella. And a hold called against Swarthmore. So Gettysburg will keep possession. Shot clock at 74. So we approach 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in a very fast-paced and exciting opening quarter between 11th ranked Gettysburg and Swarthmore. Good defense here by Collier, forcing his player to have to give up behind the goal for Raymond. Now balls work near side for Kieran Ward, the first goal scorer of the game for Gettysburg. Ward tries to spin toward the middle. Is double teamed. Tough pass. This will roll out of bounds. Threw it low for Wyckoff. Goes over the end line. And Swarthmore forces the turnover. And they'll get the ball back with 1:38 left in the first. So here's the Garnet over midfield with Werner. Had Chambliss and Cass cross midfield, so he was able to pass off, and now Werner will get off the field. Finds Brosgol, who just stepped on the field. Looked to drive and is cut off immediately. 45 still to shoot. Brosgol, a junior from Scarsdale, New York, looks to drive down the wing. Now gives it up to Schaefer behind the goal. Back up top for Cass. Freshman looked to drive, had the ball checked out of his stick from behind by Michael Zima, and the ground ball picked up by Zima. So Gettysburg should get final possession with 35 seconds to go in the first. And the Bullets quickly get down the field and into their offensive set. Ball now on the far side with 15. And both teams still making changes. And now they'll look to drive. Pass up top and a shot. Saved by Nashin. That was... ball goes out of bounds. That was Dunleavy letting one go. And that's the end of the first quarter. Back and forth first quarter. Nobody was able to lead by more than one. And a fitting end to the quarter with the score tied at 3 between Swarthmore and Gettysburg. "15 minutes in the books here from Clothier Field, and the Garnet and 11th ranked Bullets are level at 3 as we head to the second quarter. Looking at the first quarter numbers, shots in the opener were in favor of Swarthmore 9-5. Ground balls were even up at 8. Gettysburg caused 5 turnovers while Swarthmore caused 2. And looking at the turnover number, Swarthmore had 5 while Gettysburg had 4. Paulson wins the second quarter faceoff, goes right down the field and scores! Joel Paulson with a huge faceoff win to open the quarter, goes right down the field and scores in just 7 seconds. It's his third goal of the year, and the Garnet go back on top, 4-3. And right there, that shows you why the senior from Hellertown tops the conference in faceoff winning percentage. Not only able to win it, but then get the ground ball and march right down the field to score for the third time this season, and now wins this faceoff by picking up another ground ball. And for Paulson, that's his first goal since March 19th, when he won a faceoff and did the same thing, went right down the field and scored against Roger Williams. And now a timeout called by Swarthmore. Just 32 seconds into the second quarter, Garnet leading 4-3. And this is the 30th all-time meeting between Swarthmore and Gettysburg, and it's been pretty much a one-sided series in favor of the visiting Bullets, as they have won 27 of the last 29 meetings between these two teams. The last win in the series for Swarthmore came on April 8th, 2017 in Gettysburg by the score of 10-8. That snapped a 24-game losing streak that Swarthmore had against Gettysburg. And since that victory in 2017, Gettysburg has won the last 2 meetings between the teams. In 2018, it was 12-6 in favor of Gettysburg. And then 1 year later, the Bullets rattled off a 14-3 win out in Gettysburg. These two teams have not met during the last 2 seasons due to COVID. Obviously, having the rest of the season canceled in 2020, and Swarthmore not choosing to play in 2021. One of 2 Centennial Conference teams not to play last season. So the first meeting between these two schools since 2019, and it's been a good one so far. Early in the second, Hardiman gets free. His shot goes wide. He got knocked to the turf. Seavold was there to back up and keep possession alive for Swarthmore. 45 seconds still to shoot. Seavold behind the goal, comes up top for Hardiman. His shot, I believe, goes off the stick of McMillan. No, just went high, out of bounds. Shot clock remains at 32. And now Gettysburg with the ball back. They come upfield quickly. And now they'll slow things up as the ball ends up with Zima. And this Gettysburg team has traditionally been one of the best in the Centennial Conference. The last 5 times the Centennial Conference has held a conference tournament, Gettysburg has been in the last 5 finals. Turnover there as that ball was too far out of the reach of Griffin Gallagher. And Swarthmore will get it back. In 2021, they played the season but did not have a conference tournament. Franklin and Marshall went 6-0 in conference play and was awarded the conference championship. And Swarthmore gets the ball back across midfield. Here's Mabs taking it to the goal line extended. Now it's behind for Hardiman. Comes out near side. Tough shot. It was blocked. Gets the ball back. Now it's Cass on the right wing. And back near side for Hardiman, and they'll pass it around the perimeter. So in the last 5 conference tournaments, Gettysburg has actually lost in the finals. Shot goes wide. That was Schaefer letting one go. Pardon me, Brosgol. And prior to that, Gettysburg won the conference championship in back-to-back years in 2015 and 2016. And Hardiman falls in the crease, turning the ball back over to Gettysburg. And he was defended tightly by Declan Harrigan. And that forced Hardiman to fall down in the crease. And Gettysburg gets the ball back. Last year in conference play, Gettysburg was in a 3-way tie for second with a 4-2 Centennial mark. Now ball in the near corner. Now up top in the alley for Jack Dunleavy. And that'll be the freshman from New Providence running behind the goal. Gets a screen. Passes the ball off. Now ball on the far side with Raymond. Looking for a way by Strach. And O'Connor Cook ran it behind the goal line. Now he'll set a screen. Spencer Knife with the ball. 1 to shoot. Falls down. They don't get the shot away. Great defense, and it's a shot clock violation against the Bullets. Swarthmore, leading by 1, will get the ball back. That's 5 turnovers now against the Bullets. And here's Will Drake running past the check of Knife and into the offensive end. Drake gives the ball up to Chambliss and a run back to the defensive half of the field. Brosgol coming back on, and he'll get the ball from Chambliss. Brosgol goes left, shot by Hardiman, goes off the side of the net, out of bounds. Still Garnet ball, 41 to shoot. Here's Carter Strouch getting a screen from Seavold, and now runs back Seavold's way. Up top for Brosgol, who had an assist in the loss to F&M. Driving down the left wing with 19 to shoot. Now drives along the goal line, tries to cut in, falls down. He ends up in the crease. And it'll be Gettysburg ball. And that one more just to protect McMillan because he had the ball in his stick already when the Swarthmore player fell into the crease. But it's another Swarthmore turnover. And Gettysburg back on offense as we're quickly approaching the 9-minute mark of this second quarter. Just one goal in it so far. And it was by Joel Paulson, who won the faceoff and marched downfield in 7 seconds with the go-ahead goal. That was Ward giving it up left side. Ball ends up behind the goal. Side angle shot by Raymond, and he scores. The defense just lost George Raymond, and he came out from behind the goal near side. And he ties the game up at 4. It's his second goal of the afternoon. And 24th of the year. It's his 8th 2-goal game of the season. And we're tied up once again, now 4-4. Paulson and Moshe to take the draw. And a push will be called on the Gettysburg faceoff man. So Paulson wins another one. And he's been very good in this second quarter. So Swarthmore, who's just been pegged back, looks to go back out in front once again. It's PJ Cass in possession. Trying to work away from Kinsella. Now, tough pass corralled by Schaefer. He's behind the goal for the Garnet. Schaefer with a low pass. Crosses midfield. Raymond picks up and they call over and back. Pardon me, that ground ball was picked up by Cicerone. And Gettysburg back in possession. It's Knife behind the cage. Comes near side to try to get away from Drake. Can't do it. Now ball's behind the goal once again. Near side, shot wide. That was Kieran Ward with the shot attempt. And Gettysburg finding some shooting lanes here in the second. And they score. Gettysburg goes back up in front 5-4 on Griffin Gallagher's 14th of the season. And the senior from Ardmore, who had 2 goals in the Bullets' most recent victory over Washington College, puts the 11th ranked Bullets back up by 1. 7:08 left in the second quarter. Paulson goes early, and the violation gives the ball to Gettysburg. And now Gettysburg with the ball, looking for the first 2-goal lead by either team in this contest. And And here's Ward taking it behind the goal line once again. It's back there with Knife. And Ward's pass misses Raymond. Goes out of bounds. Gallagher couldn't save it along that sideline for the Bullets. And the Garnet get it back. Trying to tie this game up once again. We were tied up at 3 after 1. And now it's 5-4 Gettysburg. And the Bullets have scored on 2 of their 3 shot attempts in this quarter. Meanwhile, the Garnet have taken 6 shots and have scored on just 1 of them. Here's Von Mabs. Gets a little bit of a screen from Seavold. Takes the ball behind the goal. Strach gives up to Hardiman. Lets one go and he scores! Through traffic, McMillan never saw it. And Michael Hardiman ties the score up at 5. It's his first goal of the afternoon. And first since he scored a hat trick against Delaware Valley on March 16th. And it's 5-all, 5:45 to go in the second. Thanks to the freshman from Massapequa, New York. And an easy win by Paulson on that face-off. That time he was going up against Joe Pershey. He's actually taken the last few for the Bullets. But Paulson really starting to exert his dominance on face-offs. He's now 7 of 10 in this contest. And Matthew Martinez is 1 for 2 as well for Swarthmore. Tough pass. Can't be controlled by Mabs. Gettysburg scoops up the ground ball, and they're looking to run. And now they'll slow it down. Good stick check by Strach. Took that ball away from a Gettysburg attacker. And now they'll have to slow things down. Ball's near side for Dunleavy. Goes behind the goal, approaching 4.5 minutes left in this first half. Ball up top, long distance try, blocked. Nashin can't control the ground ball. He now knocks Spencer Knife to the ground and a flag thrown. And this will go against Nashin. But right now, Connor Cook controls the ball for Gettysburg. Pass bounces over the stick of Mather and goes out of bounds. And now we'll check the flag. So Nashin was going to come off. And Jack Ballou will go in goal for the Garnet as Nashin serves this penalty. It's a 30-second hold on the freshman from Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. So Jack Ballou, a senior from Roanoke, Virginia, who last appeared against Roger Williams, will now be responsible for helping kill off this penalty. Shot clock resets to 60. We have exactly 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. Gettysburg 7th in the conference in man-up percentage at 26.2%, 11 for 42. And they'll go to work for the first time with the extra man this afternoon. And the ball is behind the goal. Here's Knife. Now ball worked around the perimeter. Back near side Knife. Pass to the far post. Good work by Ballou, waiting out the Gettysburg attacker. Big save by the senior. Just 3 seconds to go in the penalty. Now Ballou does a nice job of spinning away from Knife. Passes the ball upfield. Gettysburg has it back, though, with McMillan. But Ballou has done his job so far. And Swarthmore just waiting for the next whistle to put Nashin back in goal. Here's Ward waiting for Brady McGovern to take his position, along with Griffin Gallagher. Now Ward trying to go left on Ingersoll. Has to pass off. Pass comes near side for McGovern. Spins right. Has to give the ball up. Here's Ward. Couldn't get the left hand free. Now with a screen from McGovern. Can't get the right hand free. Good defense here by the Garnet. Now it's Knife. Trying to direct traffic. Good stick check from behind. But the ball picked up by Ward. Ward goes to ground. Gets the shot off. Hits the post. Ground ball picked up by Werner. And great defense with Ballou in goal by the Garnet. And now Ingersoll gets the ball across midfield. Under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Game tied at 5. Jackson Brosgol controls for the Garnet, working on Michael Zima. Brosgol gets up off a knee, then goes right. Now behind the cage. It's Brosgol trying to come out near post. Passes off to Hardiman. Try to get the right hand free. Checked out of his stick. Ground ball picked up by the Bullets. Now a tough pass up ahead. Finds its target. Ball on the ground once again picked up by Gettysburg. Raymond saved the possession. And the Bullets are going to take time out. As that was getting a little hairy, that sequence, with the ball on the ground a few times. Timeout comes with 1:16 to go in the second quarter. 5-5 to score. And when play resumes, Gettysburg will have 68 seconds left to shoot. And quickly looking at some scores from around the Centennial. One other conference game going on right now. It's Muhlenberg leading Franklin and Marshall by the score of 8-6 with 6:24 to go in the fourth quarter. There's one non-conference game underway. Second quarter down in Maryland. Washington College trails Salisbury by the score of 12-2. And that one, the Seagulls come in with a perfect record of 11-0 and well on their way to making it 12-0 as they lead Washington College. One other game getting underway a little bit later this afternoon, and that'll be Ursinus against Dickinson. And right now it's a three-way tie at top of the league with Dickinson, Muhlenberg, and Gettysburg all sitting at 3-0. Franklin and Marshall 2-1 is all alone in fourth. Ursinus occupies the fifth spot. They are 1-1. And then Haverford is 1-2. And then Swarthmore, McDaniel, and Washington College are all winless in conference play at 0-3. But after today, conference play gets much easier for the Garnet as they'll have the top four in the standings out of the way. And from here on out, it'll be Ursinus, Haverford, McDaniel, and Washington College. So Gettysburg ball coming out of the timeout. Nashin back in goal for Swarthmore. And Ballou, in his just over 2 minutes of work, did a great job manning the fort, keeping the Bullets off the board. Balls at the near wing, working around far side. Wanted a pass in the middle, wasn't available. Now near side, it's Knife. Knife drives towards the post, forced behind by Werner, comes out far side, ball on the ground. Gettysburg maintains possession, 22 to shoot. Under 30 to go in the quarter. This shot sails high and wide from Mather. 24.8 on the game clock. 17 for Gettysburg to shoot. It's Raymond from behind the cage. Passes far side. Shot and they score. It's Mather. And the sophomore from Avon, Connecticut has his 12th of the year. And the Bullets lead 6-5 with just 14.3 left in the second quarter. A bit of a backbreaker right there for Swarthmore, playing great defense, and then Mather, I'm not sure how he was able to find an angle in which to shoot, but he got it off and beat Nashin. Swarthmore wins the faceoff. They're trying to work quickly, clock down to 6, and this ball bounces off the turf. It's going to roll behind the cage, and that's going to end the first half. And it's visiting Gettysburg, ranked 11th in the country, leading Swarthmore by the score of 6-5. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with first half numbers and the second half here from Clothier Field. Once again, your score after 30 minutes, 11th ranked Gettysburg 6, Swarthmore 5. second half getting underway here from Clothier Field shortly. Your score after 30 minutes of play, 11th ranked Gettysburg 6 and Swarthmore 5 in this Centennial Conference men's lacrosse battle here from Swarthmore. Looking over the game summary, Swarthmore jumped out to the quick lead on Cooper Buckland's game-opening goal a minute 14 into the game. Gettysburg came back in less than 10 seconds on a Kieran Ward goal. Then Swarthmore reclaimed the lead 3.5 minutes into the opening quarter on a PJ Cash strike. And then Gettysburg scored twice in less than a minute. Spencer Knife and George Raymond, the first of 2 Raymond goals, would put the Bullets ahead for the first time this afternoon by the score of 3-2. But then Von Mabs let a laser go with 2:44 to go in the first to tie the score up at 3. Then Joel Polson opened the second quarter by winning a faceoff, getting the ground ball, and storming downfield and scoring in just 7 seconds to put the Garnet back in front 4-3. But then once again, Gettysburg came back with 2 goals of their own. The first was George Raymond's second of the afternoon to tie the score at 4. And then Griffin Gallagher, just 17 minutes past the halfway mark of the second quarter, put the Bullets back ahead 5-4. Then it was Michael Hardiman scoring for the first time in a little over 3 weeks, tying the score at 5 at the 5:48 mark of the second quarter. But then a backbreaker for Swarthmore's Quentin Mather managed to get his right hand free in traffic and scoring with 14.8 seconds left on the clock before halftime to get us to where we are now at 6-5. Looking at the first half totals, Swarthmore has the advantage in shots, 17-12. They outshot Gettysburg 9-5 in the first and 8-7 in the second. Ground balls are in favor of Gettysburg 16-15. Swarthmore with 12 turnovers compared to just 7 for Gettysburg. Swarthmore comes in averaging 19, and they might surpass that right now with 12 at the half. Gettysburg has 8 caused turnovers, while Swarthmore has 3. Both teams 0 for 1 on the extra man. Looking at the goalie matchup, Scott McMillan for Gettysburg has made 3 saves. Meanwhile, for Swarthmore, Shane Nashin, the starter for the Garnet, has 1 save. Meanwhile, Jack Ballou, who had to come in a backup role as Nashin was assessed a 30-second penalty for a hold, had to come in, and he stopped both of the shots he faced. And Swarthmore wins the faceoff to begin the third quarter. We're underway. Swarthmore now 10 of 14 on faceoffs. Joel Polson 9 of 12 for the Garnet at the X. Once again, it's Swarthmore in the home white and Gettysburg in the dark blue. It's Seavold behind the goal for Swarthmore. Near side for Mabs. He finds the upper corner and scores. When Von Mabs gets that left hand free, look out. And he ripped one under the crossbar. His second of the game, 27th of the year. We're tied up at 6, just 35 seconds into the second half. It's the sophomore from Concord, Mass., the team's leading goal scorer, getting it done once again. And this faceoff squirts out, won by Pershey. And now Gettysburg will be on offense for the first time in the second half. Once again, neither team is led by more than 1. And that trend will continue for a little while longer as we're even at 6. Here's Brady McGovern with the ball for Gettysburg. work to the far side. And good defense there by Ingersoll and Collier, forcing the ball behind the goal line. And it's Raymond controlling. Raymond falls down. Strouch there to provide pressure. Raymond has to give the ball up. Goes in the middle. They score. It's Quentin Mather who found a hole in the defense and went in on Nashin unopposed and scored. It's Mather's second of the afternoon, and the Bullets go back up by one. 7-6, 13-21. Still to go in the third quarter. And Mather's been on fire for Gettysburg. He had 2 goals and an assist against Franklin and Marshall on the 30th. Then on April 2nd, scored 5 times against Washington College. And now has 2 here. And his most recent strike puts the Bullets back ahead by a goal. That's 7-6. Now here's Von Mabs. Gets away from 3 defenders. Shot on, he scores! Will Drake found Mabs, and then Mabs did the rest. Dodged away from 3 Gettysburg defenders. Went right in on McMillan. And McMillan left helpless against Mabs, who completes his hat trick. And we're level at 7. 12:59 to go in the third. And now a whistle and an infraction on the faceoff will give the ball back to Swarthmore. The Gettysburg bench confused by what just happened. And it'll be a 30-second push against Gettysburg, against the faceoff man Pershey. So Swarthmore going back to the extra man. Swarthmore 0 for 1. Cooper Buckland scored 2 seconds after their first extra man expired. So now back to work. Up a man in a 7-all game. Brosgol rips one high. 12 seconds on the push penalty. And Swarthmore will work from behind the cage. Mabs pass in the middle. Player gets knocked down. Ball rolls over the end line. Buckland was there to back up. Penalty expires. So Swarthmore 0 for 2 on the extra man. But they still have the ball with 38 to shoot. Here's Strouch giving up to Brosgol. His pass knocked down, and Brosgol able to get to the ground ball. And here's Strouch. Pass up top for Schaefer. He'll let one go. Stick save McMillan. And the Bullets come away with the ground ball. Long pass up ahead looking for their long stick midi. Unable to get the ground ball. It's Drake scooping it up for Swarthmore. He'll pass for Schaefer and he scores! Ben Schaefer gets his 16th of the season, extends his point streak to 7 games, and the Garnet go back up in front 8-7, 11-27 to go in the third quarter. And that play was really set up by long stick midi Will Drake, who was able to pick up that ground ball, charge forward, draw a couple of defenders over, and then find a wide open Schaefer at the right wing And Schaefer able to find Twine. And the Garnet lead for the first time in this half, 8-7. And they have 8 goals through not even 2.5 quarters against a team with the best goals against average in the Centennial Conference at 7.82. So Swarthmore getting it done on offense so far, and they're back in front by 1. And now it's Chambliss spinning to the middle. Goes far side for Carter Strouch. Back near side for Mabs. Mabs with 3 goals, looking for 4, misses everything. Ball goes out of bounds. Hardiman closest to it. Swarthmore keeps possession, 49 to shoot. And Swarthmore heavily out shooting Gettysburg, 24-13. Not something you'd think would be happening looking at their season averages. Here's Mabs. I believe that hit a foot before getting through on goal. And then McMillan wins the foot race to the end line. And it'll be Gettysburg ball. I believe that was Cicerone getting his foot in the way of that Mabs opportunity. Swarthmore comes into the game averaging just under 37 shots a game. Meanwhile, Gettysburg averages 45.9 shots a game. But you wouldn't know it looking at the shot totals in this one. Swarthmore now with nearly a 2-to-1 advantage in shots, but only a 1-goal advantage on the scoreboard. And here's Knife just holding against Drake. Now Knife trying to get a screen. Passes in the middle. Shot good. Save. Nashin. Ground ball loose. Picked up by Gettysburg. But Nashin did well against Mather. Now here's Raymond letting one go. That hits the pipe. And that ricochet comes all the way across midfield. Closest to it's Michael Hardiman. It'll be Swarthmore ball. Great defense, great goalkeeping by Nashin. Swarthmore maintains the 1-goal advantage. Here's Seville driving toward goal. His pass ends up behind Brosgol. Brosgol able to get the ground ball ahead of Frank Barbera. Seville waiting for Chambliss to get on the field. Now Chambliss has the ball. Here goes Chambliss down the right wing. Pass behind for Strouch. Shot clock to 30. Carter Strouch spins left. Gives up the Brosgol. His pass intended for Schaefer knocked down. Ground ball picked up by Gettysburg. Now the Gettysburg player gets knocked down. They call a push against Swarthmore. And that was good work by Barbera to create the turnover and get the possession. And a brief stoppage to reset the shot clock back to 80. 8:24 to go in the third quarter. Swarthmore leads 8-7 on Ben Schaefer's first goal of the afternoon and 16th of the season. Here's Wyckoff trying to spin away. Ball falls out of his stick. Can't keep it in along the sideline. It's a turnover. Swarthmore back on offense. And a tough turnover there on the junior attackman from Fairfield, Connecticut. And now it's Swarthmore with the ball, looking for the first 2-goal lead by either team this afternoon. And the ball in the stick of Ryan Chambliss. The sophomore from Atlanta will take it behind the goal for Schaefer. And Now it's Mabs. 3 goals already for the Garnet. Trying to work that left hand free. Spins, gets one off, high and wide. And Mabs having to shake off a check. So he got knocked to the turf while getting that shot away. Garnet still in possession. Here's Schaefer giving up Strouch. Ball ends up behind the goal once again. It's still Strouch working on Charlie Crean. Back up top, Mabs. Works away from his defender, gets the left hand free. Shot goes wide. 11 to shoot for the Garnet. 6:49 to go in the third. Here's Strouch near post. He scores! I don't know how Carter Strouch found room, but he beat McMillan to the near post. And for Strouch, it's his 27th goal of the season, his 48th point. And Swarthmore takes a 2-goal lead for the first time this afternoon. 9-7, 6:45 to go in the third. Strouch, who had his 10-game goal streak snapped in the loss to F&M, is able to make it 11 goals, 11 games with a goal now in 12. And more importantly, Swarthmore has some breathing room, leading by 2. And now Collier able to secure the face-off win. Here come the Garnet. Schaefer scores! Henry Collier did all the hard work, picking up the ground ball in traffic, and then able to look up and find Schaefer. Schaefer all alone in on McMillan. It's his second of the afternoon, and the Swarthmore lead is 3, 10-7, 6:19 left in the third. And the Garnet, since falling behind 7-6, have scored the last 4 goals and now get another face-off win as the ball's in the stick of Samuel Ginsburg. Whistles, and we're going to have a timeout called by Swarthmore. And the Garnet lead 10-7, 6:03 to go in the third. In a third quarter that so far has been all Swarthmore. They're outscoring Gettysburg in this quarter 5-1, outshooting Gettysburg 12-3. And also Shane Nashin has made 2 saves in this quarter, while Scott McMillan, one of the top goalies in the Centennial, has only made 1 save during this third quarter. McMillan was the most recent Centennial Conference Defensive Player of the Week after giving up just 5 goals in wins over Franklin and Marshall and Washington College. Leads the league in goals against average at 7.72. Second in saves, third in save percentage. But Swarthmore's gotten through 10 times, 5 alone here in the third. And they lead 10-7. Meanwhile, Swarthmore trying to do something they haven't done in nearly 5 years, and that's beat a ranked opponent. Swarthmore's lost their last 11 games to nationally ranked competition. Their last victory against the nationally ranked team came on April 8th of 2017, and it came against Gettysburg, 10-8 in Gettysburg. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, that was also Swarthmore's last victory over Gettysburg. The Bullets have won the last 2 in this series, but Swarthmore, thanks to a dominating third quarter, have a 3-goal lead. And this has been a quarter, looking at this for both teams, where they've both been very good. Gettysburg came in plus 13 in goal differential in third quarters this season. Swarthmore plus 6. Puts the Garnet plus 4 here in the third quarter alone, and they lead the game by 3. Strouch goes to the turf, ends up in the crease. It's a turnover back to Gettysburg. And the Bullets just need something right now to try to get some momentum. And it won't happen here. A push on the fight for the ground ball called on Gettysburg. Swarthmore is going to get the ball back. Good work by Strauch. His fight caused the push and gets possession back for the Garnet. And now here's Brosgol. Drives near post, forced behind the goal by Marquette. Now Chambliss has the ball checked out of his stick, but a hold will be called on Gettysburg. Shot clock goes back to 60. Swarthmore will keep the ball. Here's Chambliss driving toward goal, shot into the stick of McMillan, and he dives on the ground ball before Schaefer could get there. Long outlet pass up ahead. Here come the Bullets. Mather passes to Raymond. Raymond cuts in, flag down. Swarthmore picks up the ground ball, but Raymond draws the flag, and it looks like a push will be called on the Garnet. And just waiting to see who comes off. It's going to be Will Drake. Assess the 30-second penalty for the push. So Gettysburg down 3. Goes on the extra man. 0 for 1 so far. And a potentially big kill in this game coming up for the Garnet. Already down to 15. Here's Raymond. Runs it into a Collier. Has to give the ball up. Ball's behind the net once again. Far side. Shot wide. 2 seconds left on the Drake penalty. 2-1. Swarthmore is even. Now here's Raymond. Ball along the far side. Now behind the goal. Gettysburg 31 to shoot. Ball's on the ground. And the ground ball picked up by Mather before it got to the midfield line. And now here's Ward. Try to pass in the middle. Whistles in a push. And it looks like this will be against Swarthmore. So the shot clock goes from 9 back to 60 on the push call. 3:27 to go in the third quarter. And Griffin Gallagher racing back out on the field for Gettysburg. Here's Raymond, denied by Nashin. And Nashin pins the ball to the back of the net. And Nashin's played very well in this third quarter. 3 saves. And now he's trying to get away from Raymond. Gets knocked down. And a flag's going to be called on Gettysburg. But right now, here's Mavs for Swarthmore. Now it's behind the goal line. Quinn Seavold gives up to Mabs. Mabs cut before he caught the ball. Ends up on the turf. Rolls over the sideline. And now we'll get the penalty against Gettysburg and their attackman, George Raymond. It's going to be a 1-minute penalty against Raymond. So Swarthmore 0 for 2 on the extra man. Gets their third opportunity with 2:30 to go in this third quarter. So the junior from Darien, Connecticut, out for a minute. It'll be Cooper Buckland to start the extra man behind the goal for Swarthmore. Once again, the Garnet came in at 21 of 42, but 0 for 2 so far. Here's a shot and a save by McMillan on the bouncer by Brosgol. 39 on the shot clock. Now here's Buckland. Freshman decides to pass off to Brosgol. Now Strouch immediately finds some resistance in Kinsella. Strouch in the middle, they score! It's Michael Hardiman right in the middle of the Gettysburg defense. An easy turnaround and shoot for the freshman from Massapequa. It's his conference leading 7th extra man goal of the season. And Swarthmore continuing to feel it here in the third. They're up 11-7. And for Hardiman, that's his second of the game. And Polson nearly won that ground ball. He flung it up in the air but couldn't find it. Moshe did. Back come the bullets. Shot on. Goes wide. So Gettysburg trying to get the quick strike, unable to do it. And now they'll go to work. Minute 26 to go in the third. Swarthmore leads by 4. Here's a turnaround shot. Misses high and wide. 39 still to shoot. Raymond to trigger the inbound. Raymond immediately double teamed. Throws a pass in the middle. It's knocked down. Ball loose. Big scrum for the ground ball. Won by Will Drake of Swarthmore. And he'll run along this near alley. Find a passing option. And it's Schaefer, and he'll slow things down. We're under a minute to go in the third. And Swarthmore leading 11-7. Here's Mabs cutting to the middle. Spins back, finds Brosgol. Jackson Brosgol to the middle. Passes for Seavold. Tough pass in the middle, knocked up in the air. Controlled by Mabs. Game clock down to 16. It's Brosgol. Looks like he'll go ISO. Now slips. Tried to roll a pass for Mabs. Schaefer gives chase. Rolls over the sideline. Clock runs out. They will probably put a second back on. Both teams take the field, thinking it's the quarter break. There should be about 1.8 to go in this quarter. And now the officials say, heck with it, we're done. So 45 minutes in the books, and Swarthmore scores 6 times in the third quarter, and they lead the 11th ranked Bullets of Gettysburg 11-7 with just 15 minutes to go. Swarthmore College men's lacrosse team just 15 minutes away from picking up their first Centennial Conference victory of the season and upsetting the 11th ranked Bullets of Gettysburg. Swarthmore, after 3 quarters of play, lead Gettysburg 11-7 here at Clothier Field. And looking at the numbers in that third quarter, and they were pretty much all one-sided in favor of the Garnet. Of course, the score being the most important thing. Swarthmore outscoring Gettysburg 6-1, ending the quarter with 5 straight goals. They outshoot Gettysburg 15-7. Heavily won the ground ball battle 13-6. And something I said in the first quarter, they should have a distinct advantage in face-offs. And in that third quarter, they went 6 of 8. They are 15 of 21 as a team. Joel Paulson, 14 of 19 at the X. And of course, I say all that. Gettysburg wins the face-off to begin the fourth. Shot wide. That was Moshe who let one go. So Gettysburg on offense first to begin this fourth quarter. Once again, Gettysburg just playing in their third true road game of the season. They're 1-3 away from home, 1-1 on the road. Here's a shot, they score. It's Griffin Gallagher, beats Nash in 5-hole. It's Gallagher's second of the afternoon. He's got 4 in the last 2 games. And the Bullets have life. It's 11-8 Swarthmore. Just 25 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. And Gettysburg this season been very good in fourth quarters, doubling up opponents 32-16. They strike first here in the fourth. And now here's Spencer Knife with the ball for the Bullets. Will Drake playing defense behind for Swarthmore. Good interception by Nash, and he read that pass from Knife all the way. He'll get the ground ball and cause turnover. Now a long pass ahead for Connor Toomey. Toomey in the near alley finds Mabs. And he'll race back and get off the field. But great work by the freshman goalie reading that play and getting that big goalie stick in the way of that pass from Spencer Knife. Swarthmore taking their time, getting all the offensive middies on the field. And now Mabs gets a screen from Chambliss, tries to run through a triple team. Ball checked out of his stick, picked up by Gettysburg. Back come the Bullets. And work it down low. Now Alex Strouch forces them to back up. Now here's George Raymond, who has 2 goals in this game for Gettysburg. He's forced to give the ball up. And now it's Knife in this near corner. 45 to shoot, 12:39 to go in the game. Here's Raymond. Thought about taking a screen. And somebody from Gettysburg stepped in this crease. I think it was the screener. I don't believe that was Raymond. But regardless of who I thought it was, that's going to give the ball back to Swarthmore. And really just an unforced turnover there. There was no shot attempt coming in the near future for Gettysburg. And here's Mabs. He's waiting for Jackson Brosgol to take the field. Mabs working against Zach Puckhaber. Now it's Carter Strauch. Strauch can't get that right hand free to get a shot off. Finds Hardiman. He wanted to shoot, but it's now worked around for Mabs. Now Seavold. Started drive down the left side. Will let it go. Fires high. 9 to shoot still for Swarthmore. And it'll be Brosgol to restart play. Brosgol back up top. Shot. Save McMillan. Turns aside Schaefer. And McMillan with the ground ball. Up ahead to Declan Harrigan. He's forced to give that ball up. And now it's Charlie Crean in possession for Gettysburg. Swarthmore leading by 3 on defense. Big hit by Toomey. And picking up the ground ball is Strauch. Now spins away from Crean and is able to find Mabs. And Mabs will bring it across midfield for the Garnet. Approaching 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth. Garnet up 3. Let's see how Swarthmore decides to play it. Still 50 to shoot. Here's Chambliss. Fights off a check, gets the shot away, and a flag up coming on Gettysburg. And it looks like it's going to be a hold on the Bullets. Good work by Chambliss. Draws the flag. It's a 30-second hold against Gettysburg. And Swarthmore will get its 4th extra man opportunity of the afternoon. They are 1 for 3. Kate Tensley, a senior from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, will sit for 30 seconds. And Swarthmore will go to work, trying to regain their 4-goal advantage. Ball's up top for Brosgol. He'll let it go. Doesn't get through. Ground ball still loose. The long stick midi can't control it. And now coming in is Kinsella. And he'll try to kill off the rest of this Kensley penalty. And the penalty is expired. So Swarthmore now 1 for 4. And Gettysburg with the ball behind the goal. It's Raymond. Now Kieran Ward. Ward has a goal in this game. Gets a screen from Raymond. Tries to come out near side. Cut off by Halstead. Good work by Halstead here. Now Drake comes down to help. Ball near wing Raymond. Try to work off a screen. Can't. It's forced behind the cage. 30 to shoot for the Bullets. Now here's Knife. Looking things over. Comes out in front, lets one go, and he scores. Good work by Knife. A transfer from Towson. And Liam Halstead was on him like glue. But Knife able to get the left hand free. Beats Nash and sticks side. And all of a sudden, we have a 2-goal game here from Clothier Field. 11-9 Garnet. 8:38 to go. And Gettysburg in this 4th quarter showing you why they've been as high as 10th in the country this season. Fighting back from down 4, now down 2. But here's Polson with the face-off win. Near side Strauch, and he's just going to back out and slow things down. And here come all the attackmen for Swarthmore. Mabs, Seavold, Cass. All step on the field now for the Garnet. Here's Mabs with 3 goals this afternoon. Trying to direct traffic, pointing for Seavold. Mabs lets it go, he scores! McMillan gave up the near post. And Mabs, you don't have to give him much space. Found room, it's his 4th goal of the game, and maybe more importantly for Swarthmore, it allows them to regain a 3-goal lead, 12-9, 8:04 to go in the 4th. And for Mabs, that's his 5th 4-goal game of the year. It's up to 29 for the season. And Swarthmore back up 3. But Gettysburg wins the faceoff, and they're back on offense. That was a big win there by Moshe. Paulson now 15 of 23 on faceoffs. Moshe 7 of 15 for Gettysburg. Here's Knife. Draws defense from Drake. Gives up to Brady McGovern. Tries to bull rush his way into the middle. Can't do it. Good work by Collier. Forces McGovern to give the ball up high. Here's a shot that goes wide from Gallagher. Knife behind to back it up. 39 to shoot for for Gettysburg. Knife gets a screen from McGovern. Throws a high pass back. But Mather's there to pick it up. Ball along the far side. Shot clock down to 15. Shot on. Save Nash and ground ball picked up by Drake. Now Drake flings it backwards. Collier gets knocked down. Ball goes out of bounds. And it'll be Gettysburg ball. And the shot clock goes back up to 80. 6:37 to go in the 4th. 3-goal game in favor of Swarthmore. Here's a shot from distance. Good job by Nashin to get down and make the save. That was Ward turned aside. Nashin gets the ground ball. And Drake's pass intercepted. Back come the Bullets. Here's Knife. That pass goes behind Kinsella. Picked up by Swarthmore. And Toomey with the pass up ahead. Swarthmore in the offensive end. Under 6 minutes to go. Mabs, Chambliss, and Seavold all back on the field for Swarthmore as they get ready to play offense. 55 to shoot. 5:39 to go in the game. Here's Strouch. Goes right. Lets a shot go wide. Still Swarthmore ball. Here's Strouch. Behind the goal. Gives up to Hardiman, and he misses wide. McMillan was coming out to play defense. And Hardiman just missed the open net. And right now the net is open. But Gettysburg, actually they don't have the ball. McMillan was playing way out on defense. I mean, Swarthmore nearly burned him a few seconds ago, but this time the Gettysburg defense holds. Mabs behind the head and he scores! What a shot from Von Mabs! His 5th of the afternoon. Swarthmore leads by 4 once again. 13-9. 4:47 to go. And I thought Mabs was just going to keep running, but he's done that a few times this season, just behind the head. McMillan caught wrong-footed. That's 5 for Mabs this afternoon. And now Paulson back on to take the face-off for the Garnet against Moshi. Ball on the ground, picked up by the Garnet. That was Holstead getting the ground ball. And that pass just eludes Hardiman. Picked up by Strauch. But he has the ball checked out of his stick. And Gettysburg has the ground ball, and here they come the other way. And you can see Gettysburg taking more risks on defense now. McMillan coming out and acting like an extra defender, leaving that net open because Gettysburg needs the ball back, down 4, approaching 4 minutes to go. Ball along that left wing. Good defense by Warner. Pokes it loose. Gettysburg able to keep the ball. And now here's Brett Genak. Goes right on Ingersoll. Gives up behind the cage. Turnaround shot. Saved by Nashin. Denying Knife. Knife had scored like that earlier in this game. Nashin equal to the task this time. Now 7 saves for Nashin. And we roll toward 3 minutes to go. And a 20-second violation called on Swarthmore. They didn't get across midfield in time. So Swarthmore a little too casual in trying to cross midfield. Gettysburg gets it back. And they're quickly behind the Swarthmore goal once again. Here's Gallagher. Goes right on to him. He lets it go. Save Nashin. Ball loose. Picked up by the freshman goalie. Now let's see if Swarthmore has a little more urgency this time getting across midfield. And Nashin directing traffic with 5 to get over. There's a long pass up ahead. It ends up going wide of the goal. And the officials rule that was a pass, not a shot. So it's Gettysburg ball once again. And I'm not sure if Nashin was trying to score or not. But that net was open. Now a timeout here called by Gettysburg. 2:15 to go from Clothier Field. Swarthmore with a 4-goal lead over the 11th ranked Bullets. It is 13-9. And Swarthmore in this game out shooting Gettysburg 40-28. Also a 36-30 ground ball advantage. Shane Nashin, he's played well in this game. 8 saves. His counterpart at the other end, Scott McMillan, also 8 saves. And once again, the big advantage in face-offs. Swarthmore's won 17. Gettysburg has won 9. So we'll see how Gettysburg comes out of this timeout. They have to think they'd have to start going here, down 4. And in the 2 true road games Gettysburg has played this year, they've averaged 8.5 goals a game. And they're right at that now with 9. But Swarthmore's been very good at home this season, outscoring opponents at home by almost 5 goals. 13.4 goals for Swarthmore, have allowed 8.2, and that's right about where we are now at 13-9. So Gettysburg will be back on offense out of the timeout. It'll be up top, Kieran Ward with the ball. So here's Ward against Liam Warner. Gives it up to McGovern. Near post, shot wide. That was Knife with the attempt. Mather, the closest to it. 56 to shoot for the Bullets. Now here's Ward. That's the ball knocked out of his stick by Warner, but Ward gets it back. Here's McGovern. Shot wide from Ward. Down to 36 to shoot, 1:42 to go in the game. Now it's George Raymond with 2 goals. Passes up top. Now Mather with a flip for Knife. To the far wing, shot, kick, save, Nashin. Drake gets the ground ball for Swarthmore. Huge save by Shane Nashin. Turns aside Mather, and here comes Luke Ingersoll. Gets across midfield, trying to work out a 4 Gettysburg defenders, finds Mabs. Now Mabs breaks free along the sideline. 1:07 to go. They take it to the corner. Ball goes out of bounds. Back to Gettysburg. So possession clock now irrelevant. We're down to the final minute from Clothier Field. McMillan, long pass ahead for Gallagher. Gallagher working against Strach. Finds a pass in the middle. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Collier. He'll sprint across midfield. Shoot at the open net, and he scores! Henry Collier with his first of the season. And that's pretty much going to do it. 41.4 to go. Swarthmore leads Gettysburg 14-9. And you knew Gettysburg had to take chances. McMillan came out to play defense, and Collier, the freshman from Plandome, New York, finds the open net. And we're now 41 seconds away from Swarthmore pulling the upset here at home against Gettysburg. And another face-off win by Paulson. Toomey with the ground ball. Throws it over to Ginsburg. Now it's Schaefer. He's going to go behind the goal. 22 seconds left. McMillan out to play defense. Net open. Schaefer's pass knocked down. Picked up by Gettysburg. 10 seconds left. Long outlet pass up ahead for Knife. He gets a shot off and he scores. Just 1.1 seconds left. And that'll make it 14-10. I'm not sure the Swarthmore coaching staff will be happy about that. However, that's not going to quell this celebration we're going to see from the Garnet in about 1 second. Whistle blows. The second runs off, and the Swarthmore College Garnet have knocked off 11th ranked Gettysburg 14-9 here at Clothier Field. And you can see what it means to this Swarthmore team as they go right to goalie Shane Nashin and celebrate around their freshman keeper, who played very well in this game, making 10 saves. And the Garnet have their first Centennial Conference win of the year, their first win over a ranked opponent since April 8th of 2017, as they knock off Gettysburg 14-9. And for Swarthmore in this one, it was pretty much all about the third quarter, as Swarthmore, who trailed at the half 6-5, scored 6 times in the third quarter to take an 11-7 lead with them into the fourth. And then from there on out, Gettysburg got within 2, but Swarthmore able to score the final 3 goals of the game to close out Gettysburg and go to 7-5 on the season, 1-3 in the Centennial Conference. Meanwhile, Gettysburg falls to 8-4, 3-1 in the Centennial Conference. Offensively, it was Von Mabs leading the way for the Garnet. Also, Ben Schaefer 2, Strach 2, Hardiman 2, Collier, Paulson, Seavold, Buckland, and Cass, each with 1. On the other side for Gettysburg, Spencer Knife had 3. George Raymond and Griffin Gallagher and Quentin Mather each with 2. And Kieran Ward had 1. Joel Paulson, great at the faceoff X, going 17 of 25. Also had 8 ground balls in this game. Will Drake coming up huge with 5. And in goal, Shane Nashin, credited with 10 saves in the victory. On the other side, Scott McMillan had 8. So Swarthmore gets the victory over Gettysburg, and they will return to action on Wednesday, April 13th, when they take on Washington College at a 7 p.m. start down in Chestertown, Maryland. The Garnet return home on the 20th to take on Ursinus, 4 p.m. start time here at Clothier Field against the Bears. So that'll do it from Clothier Field. Once again, Swarthmore upsets 11th ranked Gettysburg and pick up their first Centennial Conference win of the year, 14-10. Have a good day, everyone.